Today we're comparing both generations of the Acura NSX. On paper, they couldn't be more different. This was a different approach to the supercar. The idea was to have a car that could compete with Ferrari, but it would still be able to get you home. It just feels so nice. The steering wheel is alive. Now we're in the new NSX. That is savagely quick. Yeah, that is a bit different than the original. I am genuinely dizzy. Hey guys, today's video we are comparing both generations of the Acura NSX. This one, which is a 2003 NSX, versus the newer 2017 NSX. The philosophy of the original NSX, of course, was just simplicity, reliability, balance, meant to take on many of the Italian rivals such as the Ferrari 348. The newer NSX, of course, is a V6 hybrid powertrain, dual clutch transmission versus the manual in the original. But there are a surprising amount of similarities or NSX DNA in the new car. So let's go ahead and go out for a drive. Normally I would do the intro outside and in front of both cars, but it's too hot. I'm not doing it. So the original Acura NSX came out in 1991, shortly after the launch of Acura, which of course is Honda's luxury brand. This car kind of surprised everybody for a new company to just come out swinging with a sports car. Of course, the original had the pop-up headlights. 2002 or 2003, they updated it to the fixed headlights, revised bodywork, slightly larger engine as well. 3 liters to 3.2 liters and an extra 20 horsepower. So this has got about 290 horsepower. Doesn't sound like much by today's standards, but it is a fantastic 290 horsepower. Arguably the most fun sub 300 horsepower car. It is such a joyous experience. 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Just feels so nice. It just clutches light, throws are light. Top speed is 175 miles an hour. This one, of course, has the 6-speed manual transmission. It was offered a 4-speed automatic, but that ain't the one you want. Incredibly communicative. I can feel everything through the wheel. This was a different approach to the supercar. The idea was to have a car that could compete with Ferrari, but it would still be able to get you home. Make owning a supercar easier. It wasn't supposed to be as stressful. Great alternative to Ferrari, which when the 348 came out, that's one of the more unloved Ferraris, and a lot of people prefer this over that car. Ferrari, of course, had more flair to it. It was, more exotic feeling, obviously, but as a working car, this was the best. Not to mention, I think it looks great. Fixed headlight generation specifically has a really nice kind of meaty stance to it on the road. Space in here is pretty good. Obviously, the car, it's not as wide as some of the cars nowadays. It's still got plenty of space in here, plenty of headroom. The interior, while not as exuberant as a Ferrari, it's still a very nice place to be. It's all covered in leather and stitching and somewhat nicer plastics. It looks like how an Acura sports car would look. It's not going to blow you away with materials, but it is on the nicer side. These seats also look great. This car only has 38,000 miles on. It's just been really well taken care of. I can see out really well. I can place the car really well. It actually does have a nice noise. It is quiet. Like from the outside, you really can't hear much, but it does have a nice kind of deep tone to it. It's quite satisfying. It revs to 8,000 RPM, and it loves to rev out. I've never seen this color on an NSX before, and everyone today at the car show that we took it to was freaking out. You get so much attention in these cars. It just feels so balanced. It rides really well. The fact that you know it's not going to go breaking down on you is just such a reassuring feeling. You pull up to a gas station, one of these, you will be bombarded by either 9-year-olds or 65-year-old men. My first time driving in this generation NSX was about a year and a half ago, and I've driven a lot of supercars before that, and I always knew that these cars were loved by everybody. I didn't really understand the hype initially. I hadn't been in one, so I drove it, and I had one of the best experiences ever in a car. It just felt so right. Everything was working in perfect harmony. Prices on these cars just keep going up. We're asking 180 grand for this example. Of course, the fixed headlight cars are even more desirable. You can drive this car 150,000 miles no issues. It was a car that you could just feel comfortable in all the time, not feel guilty taking out. There are so many Ferrari guys that they feel guilty even driving their cars. It's like, why did you even buy it in the first place? So they just sit in the garage, rotting away. Maybe they'll come out for cars and coffee. This wasn't like that. I really am struggling to find any complaints with this car. I guess, yeah, it is quiet. Like, you really don't hear. But from the inside, once you get over 4,000 or 5,000 RPM and you really have your foot buried, it does make a nice noise. It sounds very mechanical, it sounds real. From the outside, it does sound nice. The steering wheel is alive. I can wind it out, enjoy it. I can feel all of the 290 horsepower. And this had just about as much power as the Ferrari 348. To be fair, this is a 2003, so this would have been competing with the Ferrari 360. It didn't really, to be honest. Ferrari had advanced so much by then. Over its 14, 15 year lifespan, this car didn't really get too many upgrades or improvements. Again, 20 extra horsepower. I mean, not really going to feel that on the street. So it kind of fell behind, almost like the Nissan GTR did eventually. It kind of just fell behind the competition over the years. But this is still a great car. You'll be hard pressed to find a more pure driving experience. So we are almost back to the dealership. Let's go ahead and swap it out for the newer NSX. Sounds pretty good. So now we're in the new Acura NSX, which came out in 2017, the way through, I believe, 2023 with the Type S. They brought this car back at a time where, you know, hybrid powertrains were and are still very popular. The Porsche 918, McLaren P1. So this is powered by a twin-turbo V6 paired with a hybrid system. It's got 3 electric motors, so the car is all-wheel drive. Total power output is 573 horsepower compared to the 290 in the old car. So obviously it's going to be quite a bit faster. But to be fair, this car is not stock. This car has been modified. It does have an exhaust on it, which I do think is needed. Sounds incredible. And then also it does have a tune on it. So horsepower, I've been told, is around the 750 mark. You know, not a direct fair comparison between the two cars. So we can kind of ignore that minor detail. On paper, it doesn't really seem like this would have anything related to the original. It doesn't really even look like the original at all. You do have different drive settings as well. Sport, Sport Plus, Track. Let's keep this on Sport for the time being. That backup camera, you might as well not even have it. It's like a 144p backup camera. Let's ignore that. You see, it is completely different, but the premise of this being a more reliable, comfortable, well-balanced supercar still remains. It is, just like the original, a more attainable, more stress-free approach to owning a supercar. This still being an Acura at the end of the day, even though it has all the hybrid systems, it's still a pretty reliable car. It's a car that can be used every day. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That is otherworldly. You can hear like the blow-off sounds. Top speed is 191 miles an hour. Now when this car came out, it was a bit controversial. One, because it didn't really look anything like an NSX. And like I said, on paper, it didn't really seem like it was going to perform like one either. It just didn't seem like it was a worthy successor or even related at all. Or worthy to even wear the NSX badge. But as the years have gone on, and these cars have come down to a more attainable price point, I think it is a huge supercar bargain. For 130 grand, it's a lot of car for the money, a lot of performance. These seats, easily the most comfortable seats of any supercar I've ever been in. They're just shaped so well. If you're 900 pounds, maybe not. If you're, you know, a skinnier lad like myself, they're perfect. The interior, just like the original, is nice, but it's not going to blow you away, right? When these cars came out, they were kind of criticized around 200 grand. and the interior, it just wasn't nice enough for the money. Now, for 130, 140 grand, I think it is a nice place to be. And unlike the NSX, of course, it has a modern dual clutch transmission. It is a 9-speed transmission. Incredibly quick changes. Rest to 7,500 RPM. That blow-off sound is nuts. And this car too is fitted with some aftermarket wheels, some extra carbon fiber, and it looks so good. Zero turbo lag. I mean, thanks to those electric motors, fills in the gaps. That is savagely quick. Yeah, that is a bit different than the original. Like, I am genuinely dizzy, and it's so linear and predictable, much like the original. The view out is great. Out the back, not great. So fast. It is a bit down on power in stock form compared to the competition, like say Huracan or a 650S. And the market on these has definitely dropped. They've hit about, like I said, low $100,000 range. Will these be a future classic? A lot of people think they will. I'm not so sure. We didn't predict that the Lexus LFA would be $1 million car. Like, that's just not, you can't really predict that. So I suppose it has a chance. The interior is also pretty spacious. I'm 6'4", got plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room. I'm honestly happy this has an aftermarket exhaust on it, because the stock exhaust kind of just sounds like bubbles. It doesn't really sound very good. Let's go ahead and put it into Sport Plus mode. That will firm up the suspension even further, give more aggressive gear changes. Track mode is how you can use launch control. Steering is incredibly quick. It is electrically assisted steering, so it's kind of not the most amount of feedback. Gear changes are quick. Yeah, the paddles are a little bit plasticky, but you know, in that regard, it is quite different than the original, right? It's not nearly as pure. I do like the way this car looks. It's a little bit over-styled, maybe you can say, like in the front. Not nearly as simplistic as the original, but the side profile is so sexy on this car. It looks phenomenal. I would love to have one of these. Both cars are an easier supercar to live with. Both are equally as fantastic to drive. They really are. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.